The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, and themikewagnershow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosinzia Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with a terrific lady who is a San Francisco-based author, taught fiction writing for 3 decades or so at UCextensionatberkely, and her papers are on part of our collection at Boston University and Cal State Library. Also, the LAtimes called her a novelist to keep high on the reading list and also been reviewed by New York Times. She has a new book out, which is a dramedy about 4 women who discover that some of their most cherished moments are romantic versions of the truth and ventures, basically, are Hunter and 3 women who go on a journey on a reclamation. She also has some other books, too, which is Extraordinary Means, California Street, There's More Than One Way Home, and more. And she'll be talking about The Talking Stick. Doesn't have a stick right there, but we'll get to that part. Live, ladies and gentlemen, at Plus Studios in beautiful downtown San Francisco, the amazing author of the book, The Talking Stick, and San Francisco author, taught fiction writing for 3 decades at UCextensionatberkely, and paper is part of the collection. And while she gets her book and the talking stick, and speaking of that, we got here, ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Donna Levin. Donna, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us, and hello, talking stick.
Hello. You know, I should have had this out for when you mentioned that I didn't have a stick. I wanted to disabuse you of the notion, and this is a talking stick. To be honest, I bought it on Etsy. I don't think it has magical powers, but I got it as inspiration, the book, and voila, the book. And it's a beautiful cover, and it's even a wraparound cover. So,
wow, nice.
I've never had one of these before. So this is a scene from Marin County, which is where the book more or less takes place, with exception just a couple of chapters. And yeah, where were we? Okay, so I wanted to show you the book. And yeah, it's about 4 women who come together through a series of random events that might not be random after all, and use this talking stick to keep order in their group. But when the woman who is holding it retrieves not a repressed memory, but a memory that she's revised to fit what she wants the truth to be. So they have to, all 4 of them have to confront lies they've told themselves.
Oh, really? What are some of the lies they ever got told during the whole time?
Okay. Well, for example, one woman is raising a teenage daughter on her own and having all the service that a mother of a teenage daughter often has, and has all these years felt like the biological father just abandoned. And then she realizes that she never told him she was pregnant.
Ooh.
And this inspires her to get back in touch with him, to track him down and get in touch with him. And then what happens, you have to read to find out. And
right. Yeah, that makes sense. At least we're getting the idea of it, one person, and you can move on to next person, next person, next person, you know, especially Hunter, who's going on a journey. Now, do they take turns to just walk around with the talking stick?
Well, I mean, it's a novel. It's various chapters take place with from different points of view and in different locations. But when the women meet, you know, they take turns holding the talking stick, and it doesn't always cause life-altering insights or memories, but enough to move the plot forward. So, they move it, forget the idea, the role of a talking stick is, first of all, to grant authority to the person who's holding it, but mostly to keep people from interrupting the person who's holding it. Now, does that always work? No. It's very hard to keep people from interrupting in real life, of course. And it is an ancient Native American tradition. It was, and the imaginary talking stick in the book is a very old Navajo stick that Hunter receives from a mysterious woman at a flea market. So I was very careful not to culturally appropriate this Native American tradition. Of course, it has been appropriated. If you ever watch Breaking Bad, and many people have.
I've watched that program a few times. It's actually a really good program.
Well, there's an episode where the family is using what they call a talking pillow. So whoever has the pillow in their lap gets to talk, and people aren't allowed to interrupt the speaker. So, it doesn't have to be an ancient Native American talking stick. It can be any object. It's the whole idea of getting the person who's holding it to get some respect, and also, but more importantly, excuse me, I cough into my elbows still, even though I'm like 50 feet away from any other humans.
It's pretty okay. You're safe with us here on the Mike Wagner Show. You're safe with us.
That's what I figured. I don't think the virus can travel through via the internet yet. That would be a good.
Let's not encourage it, guys. Okay, you have to take it to the talking stick and say, "Don't let viruses go through the internet."
Yeah, no, that could happen. So let's see. What I was going to say. I was talking about the sort of the. Oh, I know. So I've been in a lot of writing groups over the years. And we have a rule, many writing groups have the rule that after somebody reads, the author has to remain silent while there's a first round of feedback. And that would be a really good use for some device to hold that tells other people to shut up. And it's really important in a writing group to just listen to what other people have to say. They can interrupt each other, but the author has to be quiet and just listen. And then, the writing group I'm in now, again, I've been in quite a few over the years. The writing group I'm in now, we finally instituted that rule that yet the author has to remain silent. It's a fairly small group, and it wasn't, at some point we decided it was necessary. What's annoying for anybody out there who's ever been in a writing group is when the author hears the feedback and starts getting very defensive. Well, you just didn't understand what I was trying to do here.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying on that one. So it's like, I think that's been forgotten ever since social media came across. It's like people have forgotten those rules. Now I understand what you're saying.
And, I love the internet. We wouldn't be having this conversation without the internet. And I love it for so many things. I think I love it most for the questions I have 30 times a day, sometimes having to do with my work, and sometimes just having to do with curiosity, like, what was the name of the actress in that movie that but there's a dark side too. And it rewards impulsivity. It also, it allows people to be extremely hateful and remain anonymous.
Yeah.
And, there's certain platforms I kind of have to stay off, just to protect my own sanity. But overall, I mean, that's just human nature. We're descended from animals. Some of us made the trip a little more quickly than others, but I certainly, on balance, I just love it. And you can imagine, I grew up with a library card. You had to take the bus downtown to get to the library. So
I remember those days. That was like the first form of ID we had. And I think I had one like, maybe 4 or 5 years or, it's like, you're in kindergarten. Congratulations. Now here's a library card.
Speaking of which, that allows me to mention that, I'm not just in this for the money. I'm really in this for readers. So I've been discovering that the the novel is pretty widely available in libraries around the country, mostly in ebook form, but some hardcover. And I would encourage people to, and I don't think you even have to go to the library. If you have a library card, you can just take the ebook out. If it's a hardcover, you have to go to the library. But I would love to have people read the book, and I don't care. I would love to have people go to the library and get it out. So do that.
And certainly did as well, too. And of course, there's not just the talking stick. You also have Extraordinary Means, California Street. There's More Than One Way Home. He could be another Bill Gates and more with Donna Levin. We'll get more on that. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SonicWeb Studios is the answer. SonicWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor, The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Melson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Melson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Melson-Zia has garnered great reviews. And Evil Evan enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forge Riley, and Manils. So grab your copy today for Girls Missing by Mia Melson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and over 40 podcast platforms. Heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, also Apple Music and Odyssey as well, too. Also on Pandora, Podbean. Follow us on BitChute, Rumble, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and also follow us on all social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, and more. Tickets with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Melson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Melson-Zia. Check it out today. And support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and themikewagnershow.com. We're here with the San Francisco-based author, taught fiction writing for 3 decades at UC Extension at Berkeley as well. Donna Levin with the Talking Stick here on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we get back to the Talking Stick as well, too, you also wrote some other books. You talked about having a book in the library. You also got some other books as well, like Extraordinary Means, California Street. There's More Than One Way Home. He could be another Bill Gates. And also a couple of how-tos. And tell us about some of the books you got.
Well, actually, gives me a chance to say that my first 4 books, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, were published before Kindle was really a thing. And I'm really grateful to my previous publisher, Chickadee Prince Books, that made the previous books available, the previous novels, California Street and Extraordinary Means, available as Kindle, and put out California Street as a paperback as well. So, once again, it's all internet related. People complain about Amazon for various reasons, and we won't go there because
I have no problem with it for now. I have no problem with it. You can order talking sticks off Amazon for all we know.
Absolutely. Well, I think I wouldn't mind. I hope Amazon isn't listening to this. I wouldn't mind if the FTC came in and broke up some of these tech monopolies. But to tell you the truth, that's not my job. I have other jobs. So for the most part, again, before Amazon, my 2 first novels were out of print. And then if somebody wanted to copy, they'd have to find, eccentric bachelor who ran the out of print rare bookstore.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
You can go to Amazon and 50 people are selling copies of used copies of my first 2 novels. And again, they're both available as ebooks as well. And the writing books, they are not available as ebooks, but I'm not really that concerned about that because, I'm really more interested in my fiction than I am in the ebooks. I mean, in the writing books. And I feel a little bit like, I mean, I was, they were, they were heartfeltly written. Let me put it that way. But I was also much younger, and I thought it was God's gift to writers. I thought I really just knew just when I started teaching, and I still teach, and I believe in it. And I love the idea of empowering other writers. But the more I learn, the more I know I don't know anything. The idea that there are these rules. But when I started at UC, I was like, let Donna show you how to do it. No. I stand behind the books, but I want to acknowledge their limitations. And I also am a little sometimes distressed by the number of people who you're a writer, that's great. What have you? I want to buy your writing books. They don't say anything about buying my novels, and I wonder.
Really? Huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a universal phenomenon. So I kind of think, well, I think it's going to buy your book after I've helped you write it, or are you just assuming that you're going to be published by Riverhead and they're going to have a huge ad budget for you? So, I mean, the point is, writers have to read and they have to buy books, and we have to support each other, and people have to read. And people, a lot of people don't read, but you should. I love movies, but reading engages a part of your brain that movies do not. And fiction especially engages a part of our humanity, I think, that nonfiction and certainly self-help do not. So that's my pitch. If you want to read one of mine, great. If you want to, there are other also, this is why I don't go into sales. There are many, many fine books out there already besides mine, like The Brothers Karamazov. That's a really good book. I recommend it highly. Anna Karenina, that's another good one. So Great Gatsby, one of my faves.
Oh,
so if you haven't
yeah.
read
I
those,
remember I think it was in high school I read The Great Gatsby. Oh my God, what a book, I'll tell you.
Yeah, me too. In fact, that was the book that really inspired me to do my own writing, because the teacher peeled back a lot of the layers that Fitzgerald had created, layers of meaning and the names and the foreshadowing and parts of the things he left ambiguous. And I don't know that I would have loved the book as much if I'd read it 10 years later on my own, but I thought, oh, wow, that's amazing. And I thought, oh, I could do that too. It looks really easy, which
right.
of course, I discovered it was not. But
I certainly know where you're going as well, too. Of course, we're going to talk about get that novel started, get that novel written, and you really inspire a lot of people. And let's go back a little bit with your career, Donna. How did you first get involved with writing?
Well, again, the reading Gatsby in high school. First of all, I was a big reader as a child, very big reader. And I always thought of it as something that I would just do at some point. And I always kind of did on my own, kept a journal and everything like that, like a lot of girls. I had fantasies of I went to UC Berkeley. Let's see, am I got my Cal shirt on? No, I don't. I had it on before Cal.
I can see it imaginary. Don't worry about it. I'm using my imagination in this one. Yeah. CAL. There you go.
There you go.
All right, under here just for you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Right over my heart.
Sure.
And I majored in theater there. And I was in a lot of plays. We also read a lot of plays. And I discovered a couple things. First of all, I wasn't that good. It was okay, but I wasn't that good. And that's and part of not being that good was not being willing to expose myself the way you have to. You have to really be willing to be vulnerable. And then even with that kind of brief early experience, when I see people in, taking hard roles in movies, I feel like I understand it a little better than some people, and people who haven't been had they been on the other side of the camera or other side of on that stage, just how difficult it is. And went to law school after that. And I was also, since we were in the drama department at Berkeley, it's a very academic program, whole thing's being relative. So we read a lot of plays, Ibsen and Strindberg and Williams, et cetera, et cetera. And if I may say, I realized some decades later that my own fiction writing was very much influenced by playwriting. I wrote plays, they're juvenilia, but if I do say so myself, I write good dialogue and I set up scenes well, but I've never really been one to narrate long checks. And you need to be able to narrate for a novel to have any scope. Anyway, so I could see how that really did influence me. Went to law school, but that was not for me. And a couple of years after that, I started writing in a more in a committed way. And with writing, I was able to expose myself the way that I was not as a would-be actress. And that's such a hard life. You're judged on your looks all the time. Some people are able to transcend that, and inevitably have to say it's much harder for women. So I have no regrets about that. Also, say that again, even at that very low level in the Berkeley Drama Department, performers are high maintenance people. They're
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah. They're funny and intelligent, and I'm making gross generalizations, but they're so insecure and they need so much attention. I'm the same way. I'm funny, intelligent, and I'm extremely insecure. I know that about myself. I mean, it's not a secret you can really keep from yourself. Lawyers, by the way, law students, generally they're more very competitive, not very emotional, not always even the nicest people in the world. I feel guilty saying that, but so
it's pretty okay. You're safe with us here on the Mike Wagner Show. Don't worry about it. And of course, I was thinking about that. You've been in law, you've been in playwriting, theater, and everything like that. This idea just came up to mind. Have you thought about maybe writing a book that involves lawyers or maybe talking sticks or whatever it is, lawyers in love or something like that? So.
Well, there's a lawyer in the Talking Stick. I think there's a lawyer in the Talking Stick who's a major character and who's a very nice guy. I'm married to a lawyer who's a very nice guy. So, and my dad was a lawyer and he was a very good guy. And my aunt was a lawyer. In fact, we actually she went to law school a little later in life and we overlapped. Wow. My first year of law school was her third year of law school. Although when I came into classroom one day and said, "Hi, Aunt Patsy," she said, "Don't call me that." I mean, she didn't want anyone to know that.
she wanted her legal name, right? Is that right? Call me by a legal name. Yeah.
Well, she didn't want anyone to know that she had a 21-year-old niece. So, that was,
I see.
I kind of understand that now, but, my feelings were hurt at the time, to be honest. So, what I was going to say, though, that I found one last gross generalization. Writers, to me, combine the best of both worlds, the intelligence, creativity, but intelligence and hard work. Not that acting isn't hard work, but they kind of the mix of the people I met in law school and the people I met at the drama department. So I love writers. Most of my friends are writers. And that's also helpful because people either get it or they don't. Why do you do this? What's the point?
Right. Or it's like, what are you trying to make here and everything else? What are you trying to get at and everything like that? And of course, you got to be concise with writing and everything like that. And you talk about, some of the writers like with F. Scott Fitzgerald and The Great Gatsby. Who are some other favorite writers growing up?
Well, as a child, I loved the Little House books, which was just in time because now she's been canceled. But I read them all to my kids later.
Which one was that? That's news to me. It's like she got canceled. Which one was that?
Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, and I don't know what the current state of the controversy is. I know that there are some negative portrayals of Indigenous people in her books, and so she's kind of persona non right now. That's the whole cancel culture thing is a difficult subject. I love the Narnia books.
One of my favorites.
And
What was it? Grade school, junior high, high school, and my kids got involved. They even saw the movies too. It was amazing.
Oh yeah. And then when I was 13, I read 1984. It might have been 14, to be honest, but that was for
George
ninth grade.
Orwell. Yes,
yeah.
Big Brother.
And that was a powerful book. So I was onto it before people were saying, "Oh, Orwellian," and now I was onto it very early. I think I must have read it 4 times before I was 30. I couldn't read it now. It's just too, it's too close to them.
Too close to home, too close to heart, and too personal. Yes, I do get what you're saying. But I know you talked about 1984. There was a book I remember, reading in high school as well, which was tied to an Animal Farm. That was another. What was it?
Animal Farm.
Orwell. Yes, Animal Farm.
I read that in high school, and then many years later, my daughter was reading it in high school or middle school. So I reread it to kind of keep her company and help her a little with the paper. That is a brutal book. That's worse than 1984. That is so depressing.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's like you think the Soviet Union was bad then. It's just like bad now. It was worse back then too. It was like dark gray. And of course, pigs were fighting over horses, chickens were fighting over roosters, everything like that. And oh my gosh. It's just
such a sad book. It's such a sad book. With the animals being, they start out with this dream, and then the pigs take over and oppress them brutally, and that's the end.
Mm-hmm. Right, and of course, and the main theme is people abuse power, power abuses people, and I remember that very highly.
Well, I think Orwell himself had started out as a socialist, and then was rather brutally disillusioned by what it became. And my own feeling about either capitalism or socialism or communism, whatever these things is, the problem is it's not the form of government, it's people, or as long as we still have that reptilian brain thing. Okay, it's not here. I think it's here. Anyway, wherever it is, that's just all about sex and territory and aggression. We've got to, we're going to be fighting all those animal instincts. So I don't know, maybe another 200,000 years of evolution.
Right. And of course, who knows what's going to happen as well, too. And a bit more on the talking stick and what's coming up with Donna Levin. We'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios, and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mulsons Missing. We'll be back with author Donna Levin of The Talking Stick after this time.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People, based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionsea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back at the multi-talent Donna Levin, the Mike Wagner Show with the Talking Stick and more. We cover some amazing career, books, and everything else, and a bit more about the Talking Stick. There was one point I didn't get to. It's like, how did you first come up with the idea of the Talking Stick or come across it?
Well, it's actually, it was some years ago. I was working on a completely different book, but I was having coffee with a writer friend. Mark Coggins is his name. He writes excellent detective fiction. But just of course conversation, we both said we'd like to write a book in which some magical object plays a part. And his idea was that a man finds a device in his garage that when you turn the dial, it causes people, in his case, women, to fall in love with you.
Oh, wow.
And my idea was that somebody would have a device that allows him or her to read minds. And we thought, yeah, that's great. Might be, and then he went back to detective fiction. I went back to whichever of the two recent novels somewhat recent novels I was working on. And then about 5 years ago, it just struck me, oh, well, I'll add something else that, that conversation came back to me. But then also, meanwhile, it's 12 years ago now that I joined this writing group. I was very lucky to be invited to join this writing group that was by a former student, in fact. And she, let me say that I was raised to believe that women really can't be friends, that women are always going to be competing for mostly the attention of men, but also for job opportunities, whatever. And then I joined this group that's all female writing group. And it turns out these women are really friends. They are not competing with each other. They are only supporting each other. They're from different backgrounds. They're somewhat different ages. And it was quite a revelation somewhat later in life. And I used to, gossip is a harsh word, but I used to talk about them to my oldest daughter. And a couple of times she said, you ought to write a book about a group like this. And then the two ideas came together about 5 years ago, where we're going to have this group of women, none of whom are based on real people, but it's still a group of women, and a magical object. So that was the beginning of that. And then it was a very, very difficult process. I mean, you have an idea, and think, oh, that's a good idea. And then what? Who are the characters? What are their names? Where do they live? What do they do? How old are they? What do they look at? And most of all, what happens? So I struggled a long time with it. I got a lot of good feedback as I was writing from the group. And then at a certain point, I also showed chapters to an editor I've worked with in New York, and another good friend, also a writer, not in the group, but whose judgment I respect quite a bit. And finally, my first writing book, Get That Novel Started, I said, what you got to do is write as many drafts as you can stand without setting yourself on fire.
Right, exactly.
And then one more. And then in the second writing book, I acknowledged that, and I said, I was wrong. It's two more. So there's probably 7 drafts here, at least, in this final book. But I'm going to hold that one more time, because why not? It is such a great cover.
Yes, it is. And of course, great indeed. And where can we find the Talking Stick at, and what's your website?
My website is donnalevin.com, which very imaginatively named. And at that website, there are links to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, bookshop.org, Indigo, and I think a couple others. So there's that. And then, of course, the go-to, let's face it, is Amazon to buy. And, click. And there's also your local library. And there's your local independent bookstore. I mean, those are, things change.
The best, Yep, the best go-to is, and if they don't have it, ask them to order. That is the go-to right there, yes.
Yeah, they can easily order it. Yeah.
Okay. We'll certainly do that as well, too, with the author Donna Levin of The Talking Stick and more here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a few more things, Donna. What else can we expect from you in 2024 and beyond?
Well, I've started something new. I started it last year, actually. And the fantasy that the next one will be easy is what keeps me going. It's not easy, but it's I'm got a good start on it. So that's what I'm planning to do this afternoon.
Nice.
Work on that.
Okay.
And I'm almost ready to type again. That'll be a big game changer. So that, and Yeah, what else? Okay. Well, I want to go back to the gym.
Oh, there you
Gotta
go.
gotta get back to the gym.
Right. And I think that's a really good idea. I think many of us can use that right now, too. So, and also, who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Wow, that's a very tough one. I'd have to name a few. Oh, okay. Biggest influence. Oh, that's actually he's my a man named Leonard Bishop, who ran a novel writing workshop in Berkeley that I was in the 80s, who just really believed in all of us. He used to say, your novels aren't publishable yet because they're not finished yet. And he seemed to believe that the most important thing that anybody could do would be to become a novelist. And I don't think that's necessarily true, but it was something I really needed to hear back then. So definitely Leonard Bishop. May he rest in peace.
All right. And that's
Yeah.
a really good influence as well. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Start today. I mean, if you're talking about writing, so don't put it off. Don't wait till the kids leave home. Don't wait till you retire. Don't wait till you finish remodeling the kitchen. Start now because it's not going to get any easier.
Mm-hmm. And that's on my to-do list as well, too. I'll hold off on remodeling as well, too. So that's good advice right there, Donna.
Yeah.
Anyway, here with the author, Donna Levin of A Talking Stick, also Extraordinary Means, California Street. There's more than one way home, San Francisco-based author, taught teaching on The Mike Wagner Show. Donna, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. Once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your books?
The website, donnalevin.com. There's a contact form, and it's working because somebody contacted me just yesterday, so I know it's working. So please, donnalevin.com. I'm glad I got that domain. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, great. And also, once again, the website, and can you show us the book again one more time?
Yes, please. The Talking Stick.
The Talking Stick, and make sure you check that out as well. So make sure you get it today on Amazon. And once again, Donna, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We love having you back. We wish you all the best. And Donna, you definitely have a great future ahead.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamosenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen-Zia of Missing. And powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms. And of course on themikewagnershow.com, hamiltonradio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at themikewagnershow.com. Thanks for listening.